All right. Hey, everyone. How's it going? Welcome to the Future of Education podcast. My name is Jonathan Fritzler, and today we're going to be discussing the future of education, technology, and discussing different leaders in innovation and education. And we have a really great guest today, but before we introduce him, I want to introduce myself. My name is Jonathan Fritzler, and I'd like to also introduce Tim. Tim, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Just enjoying this fresh summer day that's coming into Glasgow. Really excited about our guest today. We have Jacob Henderickson, who is a teacher out of Austin, Texas. Jacob, can you give us a good hello on your end?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing all right, man. So Jacob is a teacher out of Austin, Texas. He teaches at the Odyssey School. He has his master's from the University of California in Berkeley in geography. And so, Jacob, I guess our first question for you would be, what got you into teaching?
It's kind of that stereotypical story where I had a really great middle school teacher, and yeah, I just realized that was like a really important age for students, and he made a big difference in my education and in my life, and kind of changed the way I viewed school. Um, so yeah, that's what inspired me since seventh grade.
And who's your dog? What's your dog's name?
Yeah, of course. We woke up this morning and they decided to have a play session. That's Andice and Clovis, and my wife's chasing them around the house,
Nice.
trying to catch them. Yeah.
I have
Cool.
met Jacob's
So
dog,
Jacob,
sir.
what school are you currently teaching at, and what is the focus of your job as an educator?
I'm at Odyssey School in Austin, Texas, and basically what we try and do is teach the students who don't do well in public school in classes of 30. So that can be anywhere on the autism spectrum, can be ADHD, um, fetal alcohol syndrome, basically just anyone who has a learning difference that kind of hinders them from doing well in a big class.
Wow, that's cool. And so now, are these students? So now that really speaks to me because when I was a kid, I was told that I had a learning disability and I had ADHD. And the doctors were throwing medication at me, and I mean that was a huge challenge. So I really like to hear that you say a learning difference rather than a learning disability. That's huge. I'm curious, what are the strategies that you use? Assuming that every individual has their own learning differences and their own learning style, what are the different tools that you use to help create an individualized learning plan for these students?
Yeah. So I mean that's really the biggest struggle is trying to reach every student. Like you said, we've got dyslexic students in the same class with kids on the spectrum, and it's really difficult to teach in one way that's going to reach all that breadth of the student. So I think what our approach is a really small class. Our biggest class is 8 students, um, and then kind of just trying to reach every different learning style. So we'll teach the same subject, but in every way possible. Visual, hands-on, we'll do field trips, we'll really kind of try and hit it every way possible.
Now, so it sounds like you're tailoring, your classroom environment. Now, is that something where you tailor it for your entire class, or do you kind of try to break it down to each student as best as you can? Like, your student Johnny or Melissa, and you know exactly kind of how they learn best. Like, how do you go about doing that for each student?
All right, so I think we start at the classroom level, but then from there, since it's a class of 8, I'm able to spend more time with students who need kind of more one-on-one. And then also on the other end of this spectrum, I'm able to uh, kind of encourage those students who are able to take it a step further to take it that step further. So I'll have like a next step for every assignment or topic we're learning about. So that way I can keep them going kind of at a deeper level that interests them, but then also spend more time with students who need more time just to get up to speed.
Well, I mean, I find that really fascinating. I'm sure John does as well. But I mean, that's a very unique experience for your students. 'Cause, I mean, I feel that if you compare that to 90% of other education institutions out there, especially the public school system, you wouldn't even compare, right, John? I mean, we all went through similar systems. I mean, how can students that aren't in an education system like yours, how can they kind of, you know, stray from that and kind of tailor it to like their own abilities?
Yeah, it's that I think is really the strength of our school. I don't know if it's really, or I haven't seen a way that it can be done in a big class of 30 in a public school. It takes so much energy and time and effort, even with just a class of 8, to kind of be able to allow that individualized attention and direction. I can't imagine doing it in a class or with a teacher ratio that's any greater than 8:1.
Right. It's really, yeah, it's great that you guys have that ability to have that amount of focus on these students. And I'm curious, is this a private school?
It is, yeah. It's a really small private school. We have about 50 students.
Okay, great. And then, so you've got these 8 students in one classroom, and I'm assuming they're all in the same grade, or are they in different grades?
So that's another thing. It's more generally ability based than strictly by age, which can complicate it, but I think works pretty well mostly.
Okay, now are they going for a high school diploma, or are they going for a GED, or what's their ultimate goal?
Yes, so most of them, I'd say, transition from our school either back into a public school. We have students who will be there for a year or 3 years, and we'll kind of catch them up to speed academically or socially, and they'll go back to public school. Or we'll have students who will stay the whole time, go to community college. We've had students go to 4-year universities as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like from the sounds of it, it's really about integration. About how can we integrate people with different learning styles that are not necessarily working within the traditional education system. How can we give them an education that allows them to integrate into society? And clearly, the work that you're doing is really helping that process. And I'm curious, for anyone out there that is also into, working with these types of students, are there any tools that you have seen work really good, like that work better than others? Or is there any tools or technologies that you utilize that have really made a big difference in your classroom?
I mean, I guess one thing that we do is just being, I don't know if it's really a tool in itself, but being flexible.
Yeah.
We really allow students to approach an assignment or a topic we're learning about in whatever way really meets their strengths. We'll obviously work on weaknesses, but if we have a lot of dysgraphic or dyslexic students, we understand that it's not going to be successful for them to do nothing but reading assignments. Or for dysgraphic students, we'll let them, type all their notes and do, everything digitally. So.
We're kind of like going off of technology. Are they able to kind of use and utilize technology at any level? Are you exposing them to how to use computers or smartphones, or kind of like what is their exposure to technology at this point?
Yeah, so all of our students have Chromebooks, and I guess one thing that we do fairly frequently is we'll do individualized research projects where we'll all be learning about, say, like energy as a topic, and they can choose within that a specific area they want to research. And so they'll be working on maybe like a Google Slides presentation, and I can pull it up on my computer and watch them as they work and give them feedback directly through that through Google Slides, like notes on their slides, and
Wow.
we can go back and forth and comments and stuff.
That's pretty cool. So they're all on. You said notebooks. Are you saying like a iPad, or is it a computer, like a laptop?
Google Chromebooks.
Oh, Chromebooks.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Oh, that's so cool, man. And so do you think that, so you've got these kids, say with autism or dyslexia, and clearly, when you're dyslexic, it's you have a hard time reading. You're oftentimes losing your. It's kind of like a ADHD in a sense, but I feel like if you were to inspire them to research something that was really meaningful to them, that it would be easier for them to maintain focus. Have you seen this? Is this a trend? And what have you seen in these types of students?
Yeah, that's one of the things that I really try and focus on in my classes, always working in student choice, because I feel like if you have the students buy into it, you're going to be a lot more successful. And I mean, it doesn't work 100% of the time. Not every student has an area and energy they want to research, or finds a topic that really speaks to them. But I think it definitely helps to allow students to pick something that they could possibly be interested in, and at least feel like they have a choice in their education.
So is that something like that when you find, one of your students that they're really, really excited about something, do you kind of just let them run with it, and then you kind of, you let them kind of just let them mold whatever that is, and you, like, how does that work when it's really excited about something? Like, because I know working within the school system, I mean, you have deadlines, you have, requirements that need to be met. So how do you work with the system while keeping your students excited within your classroom?
Yeah, that is a balance. But again, something I really love about being in the school that I'm at is I don't have to teach something this day and then move on the next day. We try and follow standard curriculum just so that if our kids do go back to public school, they're at the same level, or just to have a well-rounded student, we try and follow standard curriculum. But if I see that someone's really interested in this, we can spend another week on it and try and make it that time elsewhere. So it's more flexible that way. And also having individual projects, that kind of allows the student to take that project as far as they want, within a certain time frame, but
Yeah.
a lot more flexible.
So is that something that you guys do a lot, or project-based learning?
Yeah, I feel like it's more successful or in my experience, with older students. So I haven't done it as frequently with my younger kids, like 5th through 7th. Struggle a little bit more with those projects. We still do them, but with my oldest students, we'll do one for every topic. So every major science topic, they'll have an individual project where they'll pick an area that interests them and do a presentation, and maybe someone will want to do an art project with it, or a poem, or like we'll bring in food that has their favorite molecule in it. So.
That's cool. Very cool.
Right. So now I'm curious, Jacob. You're working with these young people, and it sounds like you're really able to see the potential in them. You're really able to see the potential for them to be active members and leaders in society. And I'm curious, in that process of integration, if you have seen opportunities, or if you've come up with different solutions for how people with different types with different learning challenges and different learning strategies, how are there certain types of jobs that you think they will fit well for in the 21st century? Do you see, with like the advancement in technology and with the shifting job market, do you have any forecasts for what the future holds for these types of learners?
That's a great question, and I think it's something that at our school varies a lot by student, um, just given how diverse our student body is. But in general, I'd say a lot of our students are not suited for like 9 to 5 desk jobs. It's just wouldn't work for them. Um, and I think what we're able to do is kind of encourage them to realize that there's other paths out there, and even in terms of school, being able to go to a school where it's it doesn't have to be this way or that way. Kind of encourages them to just to learn how to think and even just to learn how to learn, like have a desire to learn. Um, and from there, I mean, we've had kids do basically any job you can imagine. Um, but yeah, it just varies a lot, I feel like.
That's cool, man. Well, I just want to say, first of all, thank you for doing this work, because I think it's so important for, young, inspiring people like yourself who are actually in the classroom and working with these guys and showing them, and encouraging them to learn how to learn, because, that's really what they need. And I totally agree with you. I don't think, a 9 to 5 job is even a healthy job for any person. It's like sitting at a desk 9 to 5 is just not a good idea. And I personally feel like we're moving into this new time where technology is really going to be taking a lot of the jobs of the past, but there are a lot of the jobs that no one wants to do, and they're making our jobs easier. And so I hope that we see a new economy where we have these like jobs where these types of people can come in and actually contribute in meaningful ways, and actually really add value to a team by just being present and hopefully bringing the skills that they learn at your school.
Yeah, I totally agree. And one thing I really liked what you said there is that these sorts of learning approaches are really best for everybody. Um, it might be more necessary for people with learning differences, but it's really everyone learns best in small classes and student driven um, and yeah. As for the future of jobs, I feel like just like you said, being able to have a desire is really the biggest hurdle, um, the biggest first step.
So would you say, Jacob, if you could change anything about the current education system, it would probably be to shrink down class sizes?
Yeah, I have a lot of understanding, but yeah, I feel like that would be the best approach.
I'm sorry, I think we lost you for a second there, Jacob.
Oh, I was saying, yeah, I think that would be the way to go is a small class size, but I understand feasibility is just, actually making that happen might not be
Yeah, absolutely.
possible.
Yeah, and I think it sounds, from the sounds of it, people that have individual learning challenges and need that type of one-on-one energy. I mean, it sounds like the school that you're working at is really this. I love this idea of having it be like this integration school where they're not necessarily just trying to be forced through the traditional education system and become the cookie cutter person, just like the traditional model has created, but rather it's really creating an empowering space for students to have their own learning strategy created, and then helping them learn how to learn. Because I think that a lot of the jobs in the future, and just jobs in general, it's like you go to school, you get a degree, but then when you go and get a new job, you have to learn that job from scratch. You have to start from the beginning, and you learn new skills. And so it sounds like you're doing a great job by just preparing them to learn how to learn, and to be social, and then of course learning how to use computers. That's huge.
Yeah, yeah, no, I always feel like I'm an advertisement whenever anyone asks me to talk about my school, but I really feel strongly that we're doing things the way it should be done, and we're just in a unique position to be able to do that. And that's unfortunate that our public isn't able to do that, at least at the moment.
Cool. Well, Jacob, thank you so much, man, for all the work that you're doing and for stepping up and being an educator, because we really need more educators like yourself in this world who are, empowering the youth to learn how to learn. So thank you for the work you're doing, brother.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and appreciate your time today, Jacob. Really do, man. Thank you.
Yeah, sure thing. It's good talking to you guys.
For sure. And for anyone out there that might want to get in touch with you, Jacob, what's your best email address?
It's my last name, Henderickson, at odysseyschool.com.
Very cool. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Tim. And until next time, this is the Future of Education blog, and we enjoyed having you here today. So until next time, see you.